the return, the re-signing of playoff Lenny, Leonard Fournette, back in the Bay, baby. Leonard Fournette has re-signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after a little bit of a scare saying that he was visiting New England Patriots. I saw that and I was like, there's not a chance in hell this man isn't coming back to Tampa Bay. And sure enough, he is back as the running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I want to spin this in a different direction. We know what Leonard Fournette can be here. We know, we've seen it. We know. I saw a mock draft the other day, and I know we're talking drafts later on, but I saw a Mel Kiper mock the other day that had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selecting a running back in the first round. And then the news came out of the Bucs re-signing Leonard Fournette, and Mel Kiper decided to keep Tampa signing or drafting a running back. Does that make any sense to you?
I don't know the contract details of Leonard Fournette off the top of my head. I should have done my due diligence and had that for the show. Um, no, because I think it was a multi-year deal. I know that,
It
which
is. It is not. Oh wait, no,
it's
no.
one
I'm
year.
looking at last
Yeah,
year. Don't listen to me.
it
Don't
should have
listen
been.
to me.
It
I'm
should
an
have been
idiot.
two. I think it's 2 or 3 years. I think it's 3 years, but um,
It is. It is
the
a
the
3-year, $21 million contract.
yeah. The fact of the matter is Leonard Fournette's going to be there now. Now, do you worry about health? Yeah, you worry about health. He's had some injuries, but Keyshawn Vaughn is still there. He got some run late in the season. You lose a Ronald Jones, you're not going to go out and re-sign him. Gio Bernard was a 1-year deal that he's gone. So could they take a running back? Yeah, first round, I don't think so. I think they have some other pressing needs. They probably address the offensive line. And as you get closer to draft time, maybe you see him switch that a little bit. It's still
Yeah.
really, really early. They
That
just signed Leonard Fournette. So yeah, I wouldn't anticipate them taking a running back in the first round. To be honest, I don't think you're going to see a running back selected in the first round again this year. Um, it's one of those things where the running back market, the wide receiver market, I think
yeah.
those guys are going to start just falling like we've seen in the past, unless there's a really pressing need. But you look around the league, if you
Yeah.
really lay out the landscape, the needs
I,
aren't there.
I'm on the opposite side of that. At least for the draft, at least for the draft, and at least for the wide receiver position. I feel like we're going to start seeing more and more wide receivers on the move in free agency and trades like we've seen with Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill, because I think that is becoming almost like the new running back position where it's like, okay, we could find a new one in the draft, which means you can, but for the draft sake, I think you still start seeing teams still take wide receivers high in the first round and things like that. Maybe like over
I think the
time we start
position is
seeing that,
becoming
but
saturated.
it is.
To me, it's that, and which is like the running back position. So when you have a saturated class, like a deep wide receiver class, you tend to say, well, you know what? We need a wide receiver. But when I can get maybe the second best defensive tackle here at 15 instead of the top wide receiver, and I can get the fourth best receiver who's really, really good in the second round, fifth best receiver, then why waste that pick on that? I think over time you're going to see that. Will Garrett Wilson go in the first round? Probably this year. Will
Yeah.
some of those other guys? Maybe you get a couple that are selected in the first round. I don't think you're going to see the days of Calvin Johnson's going number 2 anymore. Like they're going to look at wide receiver like, why take a guy that at number 2 that I can get a playmaker who has speed with the
Yeah.
55th overall pick or
Unless you're
53rd like Devontae Adams.
unless you're Jamar Chase and you're the best player, overall
Yeah, I mean,
player in
you're
the
going to
draft.
have guys that are just insane. You're going to have Calvin Johnsons, right? Where you just
Yeah.
know. But overall, in general, I think some of these guys where in the past we would select a Darius Haywood Bay in the first round, Henry Ruggs in the
Gross.
first. Like
Gross.
these guys, they don't project as well. I think you'll start to see teams go away from that and go with in the trenches and some of those other key positions.